A very, very good evening, and Shri Amitabh Kant, Dr. Chintan. I think as a mentor, as an ambassador to Horses Stable, all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for your support, because without that, it wouldn't have been possible. Without NITI Aayog, Director-Atal Innovation Mission, the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, I think Horses Stable would never take off. And in the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons that we've done, especially the last season, I think there's been an 80% success ratio, which is huge by itself. When that talks about the kind of talent that we have and the faith that the horses, the investors, our friends have in the brands that are being presented. So big thank you. Horses Stable Junior, I think where we would come from is probably be that finishing school, or the bridge between the corporates, the investors, and of course the little geniuses that we are hoping to produce. The dream of the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, is to make India probably a country with the maximum number of unicorns. So I think a wee little bit of contribution from also our side would mean a lot. A lot of the media kept asking me, which is typical, because controversy is also what we thrive on. कि यार लेकिन Shark Tank तो है ही है ना, Shark Tank, Horses Stable, ऐसे 50 टैंक की जरूरत है ताकि हमारे बच्चों को वो प्लेटफॉर्म मिले. So I don't consider any one of them as competition for us. I consider it competition for the bringing us on, the team FPC and all of us onto this journey, this vision of yours, and we are partnering today, and hopefully we'll be very successful with Horses Stable Junior. To all the corporates, all my friends from the media who are here, who support us, because thereby you will be supporting Little India. I say that because I didn't have this opportunity as a startup, because there was nothing called a startup. But I started young. I helped my father when I was 13 or 14. I used to love going to the restaurants. That's where I realized what dal and rice was what idli was, what vada was, why my father became who he was, an entrepreneur on his own. But from there I learned what hard work was. I learned how difficult it was to make a living. Juniors, that they matter to us. Their ideas matter to us. A 4-year-old thinks like a 14-year-old of yesterday. So let's support them. And once again, sir, thank you to both of you for being the absolute pillars for Horses Stable. Anis, for constantly thinking of doing something new all the time. So thank you so much, and for all the friends who are supporting. I'd like to take everybody's name, but it's not physically possible. So thank you.
So both of your kids have chosen their own paths. But I would just like to know, what was your contribution when they wanted to go for the acting? As you are a great actor, you've worked for decades, and we all look up to you. How was the journey of them to decide, and how much of the support was there from your side?
To answer both your questions, let your children live their dreams, and don't live your dreams through your children. I think that will answer all that. And the atmosphere that children grow in is generally, if they're happy in that atmosphere, they generally want to follow that. It's like in my case, probably my children saw the love, the adulation that one got from people, and that is why they wanted to follow that dream. And I absolutely allowed them, made sure that I educated them in what they wanted to follow, and not just about anything. Like earlier, it used to always be doctor, engineer, ya ye karoge when we grew up. And like Shri Amitabh Kant said, let the children follow their dream, because the world is open. Let them be those kids who are here to solve problems, and at the same time live their life the way they want to. Being happy being one of the most important things.
Thank you, sir.
Basically, in all these long sentences, Suniel Shetty was saying that his contribution is 0.
Kant sir and Suniel Shetty sir, From Dr. Nema, my question, sir, बॉलीवुड और मीडिया ने हमारे देश में इनोवेशन के लिए अभी तक जो फिल्में बननी थी वो अब नहीं बन रही हैं। हम करप्शन पर बहुत बात करते हैं और अवेयरनेस पर बहुत बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं। शायद वास्तविक जीवन में यदि हम देखें तो उस तरह की फिल्में अब नहीं बन रही हैं। यदि हम देखें तो महसूस करें कि हमारा जो सिनेमा है हमारे जीवन से बहुत वास्तविकता के करीब है। और मीडिया तो कांत सर, यदि हम इतने बड़े बड़े प्रोग्राम करते रहेंगे और इनोवेशन के लिए ना फिल्में बन रही हैं ना हमारा मीडिया काम कर रहा है, तो हमें इसकी जागरूकता के लिए सर क्या करना होगा कि हमारे देश में एक चिंता और एक चैलेंज के साथ हमारे जो क्षमता मूलक समाज के लिए जो काम होना चाहिए वो नहीं हो रहे हैं। हम सिर्फ हमें लगता है कि कागजों में हम बात कर रहे हैं बस। तो मैं एक मीडिया एकेडमिक होने के नाते आपसे यह कहूँगी कि अपील करूँगी कि सर इस तरह के प्रोग्राम यदि हों तो हमें एक से एक और सबक लेना चाहिए हम सबको कि एक चैलेंज है NEP, भारत में NEP आ गया है तो हमें थोड़ा एजुकेशन को भी ध्यान रखना होगा। और सर ये जो प्लानिंग्स हैं इनमें इनोवेशन और इंटरवेंशंस के लिए मूवीज और मीडिया को भी अवेयरनेस किया जाए।
जी थैंक यू बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
ओके, आई थिंक
Sir, there is a huge debate around the whole concept of profitability. We speak about unicorns, a lot of startups, but if I'm right, a lot of our young startups are still not profitable. So my question A is, when do you see Indian startups? Is it the 7th year, the 10th year, the 12th year, the 5th year on an average? When do you think the startup will start being profitable? Because there's a lot of cash burn that happens, and then we see a lot of downside, a lot of startups laying off employees. You must have seen a few such reports. So what do you have to say about this in terms of profitability? How do you look at it?
It's important to understand that startups need to follow all good business practices. Good governance models, good financial models. They need to get the best people, exactly what a good enterprise should do. If you do all that, profitability and success will automatically follow. You can't say that somebody is going to start making money in 4 years, somebody is going to start making in 5 years. That will depend on the particular startup, that will depend on the particular sector, that will depend on the size and scale. But the important thing is that any successful startup must follow all good governance norms. They will all succeed if they do this, because once you've passed a particular stage, it's very important that you work with the best, create the best possible business practices within your startup.